But I mean, again, it's just, and that's where, the ultimate point of this podcast is what I want the listener to know is just again, recognize what it is, and that's why, I don't care if it's TikTok. I don't care if it's Wall Street Bets. I don't care if it's Discord. I don't care, what it is. Just give me high volume, low float stocks with a story.
The other book that's coming.
Have a stop. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Listen, if it turns on you, stop out. There's going to be another one. All right, welcome back to the Steady Trade podcast, everyone. We're going to get right into it today. Number one, it has been almost a year to date since Tiger King has come out, and Kim still hasn't watched it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Listen, when the shutdowns hit, you had to watch Tiger King. I mean, that was the thing.
I was too busy watching Roadhouse because of your recommendation.
That was this fall. Tiger King was last spring. So anyway, welcome back to the Steady Trade podcast, everyone. We've got the entire team here today. And oddly enough, Kim picked the theme this week, talking about, in summary, paraphrasing, the insane markets, which I know we talk about this a lot, but it's like, it just gets wilder.
Get more.
And funny enough, she suggested this topic, I think, Monday, a couple days ago. Here we are Wednesday. The day she suggested this topic was the day the Carol Baskin pump and dump of ZOM came. Alleged pump and dump. I don't want to get Carol in any trouble, even though we all know the Tigers ate her husband. But that aside,
she might be in trouble already. She might be in trouble.
that and contrary to any opinions, I don't want to get her in trouble. But anyway, back to Monday. Many of you might be familiar with Cameo. It's like this new app where you can pay celebrities to say, hey, happy birthday, Steven, happy birthday, Kim, or whatever. And someone, I don't know who.
I want Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, guys.
Fair.
You guys can get that for me for my birthday.
I hope Brad Pitt doesn't do happy birthdays for $2.99.
Me too. Actually, that would make me sad for him.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. I mean, and I get it. Maybe he's bored. They're not shooting many movies. But if he's actually doing happy birthdays for $2.99, I'm going to be very disappointed in you.
You're right. That's true. I probably wouldn't want it anymore if he was doing it.
So that being said, if you're familiar with Cameo, someone paid Kim to or Carol, sorry, to mention.
I'm available for Cameo. I'll do birthday messages for $2.99.
But I've got a good business idea, and my business model would be if everyone's doing them for $2.99, I'm going to do birthday messages for $1.99. I'll take over the market.
Exactly. Yep. It's like something about Mary remember when the hitchhiker came up with 6 minute ads.
Can't believe you found out where I stole me joke from.
He's like, no, you can't do 5 minute ads. Six. You can't.
I literally ripped that joke off in your brother's face. That is completely where I got it from.
Oh my God.
So anyway, enough setup. I guess let's kind of get into it. And again, most of you, we'll link it below. There's a Yahoo Finance article I've got right here in front of me. But, obviously we were chit-chatting a little bit beforehand, and Kim was again, how does this happen? And to me, it's just such a sign of the times we're in, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But, Zometa, it traded 1 billion shares on Monday, 1 billion shares on Tuesday, and we're recording midday today, and it's still trading 500 million. And the simple fact is, people, can mock it all they want. And Steven has couple trades. I didn't end up trading it. I wanted to buy that afternoon breakout yesterday, but never came.
I was watching that close.
It was there, man. And I was like, here we go.
Yeah, very nice breakout, by the way.
But that being said, here we are. You know, we're day 3-4 into this, and it's still at $1. I mean, it's still up, you know, a huge amount. So anything could happen. But yeah, it's just so wild, the volume. I don't know if you were on the webinar this morning, Stephen. I didn't even DPW. Somebody was like, hey, you know, DPW has a PR and stuff. Never even touched my scan because it was like 8:45 a.m. and it was trading 2 million shares. And I'm like, 2 years ago, I'd be losing my mind about DPW. I know for a fact that's a great short already. I bet you that gap can craft. Yeah.
But honestly, all I want to say is I wasn't on the webinar this morning. I'm normally on every single one, but I was too disappointed yesterday for losing $2,000 that I just was like trying to take the day off. And then I saw ZOM again and I was like, all right, I'm in. But what I would like to say is when Carol Baskin can generate 1 billion shares in the stock market, there's something massively wrong with the world.
Something massively wrong.
Terrible wrong in the world. When Carol Baskin, some rural village tiger woman, can cause the market to generate 1 billion shares.
So what if okay, so I'll be devil's advocate as usual. Oh.
Or you can just be the devil.
Fair enough. So what if you know, Joe Smith that's just getting started in the stock market. He's 20 years old. He's got $500 in his Robinhood account. What if he doubles his account on ZOM? Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing?
I mean, I would say he was very intelligent because if he thought, look, there's a technological shift in the media landscape. Things are going viral from social media. Tiger King just come out last year. Market's hotter than ever. This looks like a good long that could catch fire. I would say brilliant trade.
But how many new people are going to be brilliant enough to know that, right? Like I would say that would be dangerous. I take the other opinion. I don't think that's a good thing because then he's going to potentially think that's the way it's always going to run. And it's not. Like he could have gotten lucky.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe we're going to be locked in our houses forever and C or D list celebrities are going to pump penny stocks forever. You don't know. Maybe it's the new normal.
That would be so ugly. That would be so unattractive.
But let's just be honest here. Only one person figured out that theory. Only one person figured that out. And then they put it on Twitter, and then someone told someone else on Twitter, and then you have the multiply effect, and everyone else just followed. Saying, "Oh, did you hear that, Carol Baskin? This is going to the moon." You know, one person figured it out.
We've talked about Wall Street Bets on Reddit. I'm sure I didn't go there. I'm sure it lit up all over Wall Street Bets. I mean, that's like, Twitter's kind of for the old guys like you and I, Steven. You know, Reddit's now the new hot for stuff like this. I gotta believe everybody in Wall Street Bets was all over ZOM. So
yeah, God. And didn't you just say that the other day? I don't know if it was a tweet of yours, Tim. There was something you spoke to about Reddit and TikTok.
Yep.
You were talking about
Discord and TikTok. Yeah. I mean, TikTok is like, it's all penny stock. Well, not all, but crypto penny stock. I mean, it's loaded. I mean, that's like half the stuff on there. But,
I've just been getting stuff about people taking drugs and transsexuals.
Well, remember, Steven, the algo knows what you're interested in.
Exactly.
I'm like, why am I getting a load of skateboarding and transsexuals?
So the algo is looking for previous interest.
Then you look at it, remembers, and then it sends you more of that.
Meanwhile,
and tries
to, which I got.
I'm still like.
My TikTok is just all stock funds.
I need to get some of these investment things.
But you made a point, both of you did, about the uninformed investor, and the point I was headed somewhere with this, and I've got an analogy or a anecdote probably that Stephen and I talked about last week, because I was setting you up, Stephen. I wanted to see what you said, because you know, we were talking the other day, and, you know, we won't name names, but, you know, the people that were shorting crypto related stocks and didn't even know they were crypto related. Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole thesis behind being and this is what I'm getting at from a rational exuberance on both sides. The whole thesis of being a short seller is you're skeptical, you know, you don't believe every stock's a scam, you know, they'll all pull back. But how can you consider yourself a real short seller if you don't even know why the stock's moving? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, no. The thing is, and Jack. I mean, look, there's a common saying in the market of know what you own. Always know what you own. Even if you're borrowing the shares to get it and you don't even have it and you're selling it before you've got it, still know what you own. It's even more important to know what you own then. But Jack Kellogg said it best when he gave some advice a while ago. He was saying, he said, make sure you know what's going on with the sector or the market, but don't let it hedge your bias too much, because ultimately you're trading the ticker, but it's half and half. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I almost think like 70-30 even. You know, and I'm not even saying it's half and half. But what drove me nuts, and again back to that conversation we had last week, is, you know, Bitcoin goes to 40,000 and people are shorting crypto related stocks. Yes, they're jokes. Yes, they're all going to fail. None of these companies will succeed at anything, but you can't be short, in my opinion. Now, I know people will argue. People will be like, oh, I made money on it, you know, and fine, congrats. But I don't see how you could be, as a informed risk management, trader, how you could possibly defend the position of shorting an instrument that's chasing Bitcoin when Bitcoin, I mean, at the time was on its way to 40,000. Or, you know, buying ZOM. I mean, it's the same thing with buying ZOM and believing in it. You know, I mean, I know I'm long biased, but if you buy, I mean, listen, come on. Sorry. If you're investing in ZOM because of Carol Baskin's freaking cameo, or, you know, it's good luck.
What the hell? What the hell?
But let's be honest though, in this day and age, it's not about the company anymore. It's not about the news anymore. It's about the reaction. It's about the reaction, and it's about the story. And it's not about, is this company good? It's how will people react in this day and age to this news or this company? That's what it's about.
And I would extend that towards everything, not just the market right now, but
maybe we won't get into
that. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's just this extremism.
Don't get me started, man.
Okay.
About
for those who are listening,
manipulation of the minds.
For those who are listening right now, Tim is wearing his tinfoil hat.
But I'm still so confused, because I'm like, with ZOM, I'm like, honestly, like, what I'm confused about is there seriously a bunch of Robin Hooders buying from 13 cents, making 1,000%, holding all the way and refusing to give up? Or is there a hedge fund who's pulled a ton of the shares and they're just holding it up and pushing it higher and higher and higher every day? Or is it both? Like, I really would like to know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a question for JJ, which one of our most popular podcasts ever. Definitely check out. I can't remember which number. Go to SteadyTrade.com. Confessions of a Market Maker. But JJ was the guest, and he's coming back. That great. I mean, make sure we ask him about this. I think he's coming back in a couple weeks.
That's a good question. But don't you guys think too that part of this are people who are coming into the marketplace? We know there's so many people that plowed in, and they're coming in and they just want to be in the action. I feel so much of it is they just want to be in the excitement of it, and they're just doing whatever seems to be in front of them that day, or on Twitter that day, or TikTok, or what have you. They jump in, they have no idea what they're doing. And there's so many of them that those people can get washed out to sea, and then a bunch of others take their place. Yep. That's what I think. I think it's just ignorance, and they just want to be part of that action, and they keep it kind of all stirred up. And what's that word? Like frothy.
Yep.
It's like frothy.
Animal spirits, or, you know, but, so I say all of the above, Kim, and you know, and again, I took the tinfoil hat on and off twice, but it's like, I mean, you guys know, and listeners know, I mean, one of the things that drives me nuts is, you know, again, I call it outrage culture. You know, I still go back to one of my favorite examples a year ago, you know, 13 months ago, that Peloton commercial. You know, and it's and again, I know I bring up this story all the time, but like everybody lost their minds for like 2 days because a husband bought his wife an exercise bike, freaking $3,000 exercise bike. But here, and she was in shape and she was pretty, and it's like, oh, you know, and they lose their mind. And then, but then see, then 2 days later, there was something else. The next day, there was something else. And we see that over and over and over again. And I beg of you, and this goes to stock market particularly. I mean, something I firmly believe in. I 24-hour rule, 48-hour rule, and track this, man.
Yeah.
The initial story is never right. Okay, it is never right. I don't care what happens. The real story is always a week, 2 weeks later. But
or a year later, or many years later.
But the media, you know, through click culture, okay, again, you know, you remember the internet was awesome in the beginning, and then somebody realized that the more salacious, the more, I mean, they learned how to press those buttons because that's how they make money.
Press our buttons. Press our buttons.
And I think, and we're not here to rant about that. I'll save that for my personal social media.
But it's showing up in the market now.
But I think people have been programmed. So what I'm getting at, I'll close the loop on this rant. What I'm getting at, Kim, is I think people have been programmed to just, and not outrage, but they've been programmed to like, this is the biggest thing in the world. Yeah. This is the biggest thing in the world. And I think that's why we're seeing the stock market where we're at. That's why we see ZOM go 300%. We routinely see 1,000% runners because people have, over the last decade, have been programmed to just like lose their minds about everything.
that almost makes your argument that perhaps this is the new normal, right? Because like we're not over the click culture. We're still being all triggered left and right outside of the market. So maybe this is just shifting into every arena of our lives. And it's going to be the new market because of that addiction and dopamine hit that everybody gets.
That's why I love it. Because I know what it is. I know what's happening. I mean, we've seen, and you can, hopefully through the podcast, all of you can recognize it as well. At the end of the day, I know what ZOM is. I didn't get my entry yesterday, but I knew what it was. And I saw the volume. I saw the BS TikTok shit and Carol Baskin. So the sooner you can recognize this, you know, and again, Steven made the majority of his losses back today because it's down 30% today and probably gaps down tomorrow. You know,
so that's the question. Do I get back in though? That's the question. I'm too scared to because I know how crazy the bloody stock market is.
Yeah,
it's too scary to do that now. Yeah. I don't want to lose another night's sleep worrying about it.
Exactly.
So in summary, Kim, to answer your question, until something changes, I don't know what that is, and it might be bad, whatever it is. I just think the entire world has been programmed to, again, to lose their minds about, lose their minds every day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and Twitter's the worst. And this is why I am massively pulling back from Twitter because I feel myself, I get triggered. I got rage issues just walking down the street, much less reading Twitter. But it's like every day you can just go there and everyone's losing their minds about something.
Yeah. Everything looks like a crisis.
Every day.
A crisis. Every hour. Every hour. This past weekend, I had to get off of it because I was like, I could see myself like, oh my God, what else? Oh my God, what else? And then I was like, and I just like threw the phone on the couch and I was like, I'm done. I have to just stay off of it.
See, and that's my point with the stock market is it's like the opposite. It's the same thing, I hate that term triggered, but where you were getting triggered negatively, I think it's the same thing where people are getting triggered, I mean, for lack of a better term, positively. Right. They're like, oh my God, Carol Baskin. I had people DMing me, Steven. They're like, it's going to 3. It's going to 5. And I'm like, it ain't fucking going to 5.
Not going to, well, never say never. You never know when she does part 2 of our YouTube video.
Exactly.
She could say something at any moment, at any time on the internet.
Dude, what they got to do
goes to 5.
This is what I'm going to do. Oh, but he's. I wonder if
You need to buy that stock and then to pay her to do the next cameo.
Shh, keep it quiet.
I got a
He's
plan.
got a plan.
Yo, I know.
Tell us before you do it. I'm putting my whole bank account
So
in.
I need somebody, who's ever in prison with Joe Exotic. I need you to slip him an iPhone, okay? Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get Joe Exotic to pump it and be like, that bitch Carol Baskin doesn't know anything about ZOM Media. Then we get 5. So then we got the feud.
This is just an imaginary plan in case the SEC is listening.
Allegedly, I will pay Joe Exotic $2.99.
It's just outrageous, the mark. But the thing is, though, although these moves are bigger and they're happening with more volume, the actual patterns have never changed. These patterns have been going on for 10 years. They're just bigger and they last longer and they don't die as easy.
What do you think, Stephen? Do you agree with what Tim is saying? And I'm sort of
about the
curious
about
just about the market, that the market now is a place of like this clickbait culture that is bringing that is moving not just from our social media and from our news, but into the place of
clickbait culture came around, in my opinion, because people stopped buying newspapers because the news websites all started putting the news online.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't make the money back that they'd lost from circulating the newspapers because people weren't buying them because the news was free. So then they started having to monetize the websites and the paywalls didn't work. So they had to use ads. And then to get the ads, they have to have the catchy headlines. So it's actually the end of the traditional newspaper that's destroyed the online media, which is now destroying the stock market. This is the whole cycle.
And in my opinion, destroying the mental health of about 87% of the planet.
Yeah.
So just take the newspaper websites off the internet and make people buy papers and everything will go back to normal again.
That's a great idea. I
tell you, and I don't know if I talk about it on the podcast a lot. I talk about it a lot on the pre-market prep. One of the favorite parts of my week is my old school printed Barron's. I can't recommend Barron's enough. It's all long form. Okay. There's nothing in, there's no, like one paragraph articles in Barron's. It's all long form. It's all forward looking. It's a weekly newsletter. So they can't, by design, Barron's can't focus on the outrage of the day because it's a weekly news. It only comes out once a week. So.
But I think I just want to say, and I can't help but go back to even the Fountainhead, because like the media has always done this. Like, Hearst with his papers, when we see elsewhere Toohey destroy an architect because he taps into the outrage culture, right? Like, so we see like media does this, but I just think now because we all have computers in our pockets, it's getting even worse because we don't get it for just breakfast or after work. We getting it 24/7. And our cortex, our neocortex, we can't process that much information. Like that's part of what I think is happening right now. There's a hysteria because everybody's actually trying to process all this information.
Well, you're in fucking fight or flight.
Yes.
19 hours a day.
Yes. It's not healthy. It's just not healthy. Whether you're yes for somebody or no for somebody, you're still being kind of that dopamine, and you're also feeling you need more. Like what do they call it? Doom scrolling.
Yep.
Right? Why? Because you're like, I need more. But that more is the dopamine in you that's why that dopamine detox is so important. So important.
I totally agree with you. I mean, again, listen, William Randolph Hearst made weed illegal just because he didn't want hemp to be used to make paper because he owned all these paper farms.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh yeah, read it. It's so hemp was this amazing, and he owned all these paper mills and trees and everything. Yeah, so they made up the whole, marijuana is a made up term. It's like makes you crazy, reefer madness, all that stuff, just because marijuana was a cousin to hemp. So anyway, here we are 70 years later and weed's still illegal, but
that is crazy.
But back to your point is, at least back then, maybe maybe you'd read the paper once a day, or maybe you'd go a couple days without reading the paper. Now
Totally.
it's just, you know, you're
Constantly in your
every
face.
waking minute. Yeah.
And that's why, and I think that dopamine has fixed too. Is like you talk about Barron's long form, but I don't think a lot of people, Tim, now have the capability to read long form. That's why most people are not able to read books anymore, because honestly, because they feel kind of jumpy if they're doing one thing for too long, like sitting still or meditating or looking at a long form book or article. They're like, I'm not getting that hit. Well, no, because you're actually living now instead of just being a big vein for dopamine. So anyway, get off my high horse. But I worry about people. I don't think this is good. I worry about myself, and I know this shit. I still get sucked in. It's like, oh.
But I would say I don't really read the news that much, to be honest. I'm not really bothered about it. But because trading is stressful enough. Like, honestly, I don't know about Tim now, but every single day when I show up before the market, 3 minutes before the open, my heart's pounding a little bit. It's pounding just a little bit faster than normal. In the 20 minutes before every market open, I've got slight trepidation where I'm thinking, I hope I don't lose $1,000 today, or what if I win two?
It's just
or what
like,
if I win two?
For me, it's like, you know, again, this is another reason why I'm pulling back from social media so much. There's just, I mean, all you got to do is run one scan, and it's like you got so much work to do every day. And that's why I'm trying to focus on afternoons. You know, that's why I was sat there and waited on ZOM that didn't come. It's just, there's so much work to be done.
But that's it. It's there's so much opportunity. It's the pressure of not taking advantage of it. But it's the pressure of not messing up. Like I'm panicking thinking there's 4 players here and I want to catch them all. I want to get them all.
But maybe do you think that, I'm just really curious, Stephen, do you think it's appropriate to expect yourself to be able to get all 4?
I think some people can do it, some people can't, but I've always been quite good at trading multiple tickers and just flicking between the screens and being like, this is here, this is here, this is here.
Okay.
I'm quite good at trading multiple tickers at once.
Okay.
But I know there's some people going to like trade 1 and that's it, or trade 2 and that's it. But no, like I know I'm good at it, so I apply the pressure on myself to get better. Yeah,
I gotcha. I just, you know, have caution and worry for you, because that feels like a lot of pressure, especially if your heart's starting to race as you walk into
I love it. Sometimes we handshake as well. I love it. I love the rush.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
love hate, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like, like for me, it's like, you know, it's like, I mean, especially like in winter, weekends suck, man. It's like I'm just like all day Saturday. I'm like, you know, all day Sunday. I'm like, you know, but especially in the winter and with the lockdowns, I mean, it's like, it's like,
honestly, stock trading is so much fun. Like when ZOM was dropping the day, like my dad walked in the room. I was like, Dad, watch this. And like, it was just tanking, like ZOM. It was like tanking. It was like, I was like, this is going to break through $1. And that was like 98, 96, 95. I was like, this is breaking through 90 cents. And I'm like, and my dad's like watching it and he's like, this is so exciting. I'm like, right? But sadly, this only happens like once a week, once every 2 weeks. You'll like nail something.
Yeah.
But it was a good dip buy in the 80s, by the way.
Yeah. So, which again, I would never.
Nah, you can't.
I ain't dip buying a Carol Baskin pump, man. I'll buy breakouts in the afternoon after it hangs around VWAP all day. I ain't dip buying, you know, what I need to do. I need to go visit their office and ask them. I could do SteadyTrade on, because they're only an hour and 45 minutes away. Yeah.
On location, doing on location interview, Tim.
But I mean, but call me Bigfoot, but I think all of the big money was out. Do you remember it on the 3rd green day? If anyone wants to check the chart, on the 3rd green day it slammed, and then it was setting up for the perfect breakout, like the perfect like wedge breakout, and it tried twice and it just couldn't catch on. I think most of the big money was out on that slam, and then the next day the rest went.
Probably, yeah. I mean, again, you're at that point, you're days into it, and and ultimately
Just couldn't go.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
And at some point, I mean, I know I go on and on about 1 billion shares, but you can't sustain that. I mean, I guess unless Carol Baskin comes on every day,
Right.
at some point everyone's going to figure it out. The volume's going to go, and if there's no volume, I mean, it's there's. I mean, again,
question
there's
is,
no news.
did she have shares? Did Carol Baskin have shares?
Oh,
That's the question.
wow. That is
That's the
such an
question.
interesting question.
Did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
I don't know what's worse. Because maybe the husband deserved it. If I was Carol Baskin before I put that message out, I'd be like, oh, I might just buy 100 of these in my friend's account. Well, a couple of
that's an
100,000.
interesting question.
You never know, man. You never know. And again,
All right, Tim.
we're not casting any accusations against Carol. So.
No, of course not. We're just
We'll
speculating.
leave the accusations to Joe Exotic. So
Murder, stock fraud. What's next?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We have to compliment Stephen on his very handsome shirt today.
I agree. Yes.
You look like
Stand
a
up.
professional.
Stand up.
Look like a professional.
So if you're not
Quite
on
skinny as well.
YouTube, it's the
are
Kim picked
skinny.
up a limited edition Hawaiian Christmas shirt for Stephen and I as a Christmas present, and they're awesome. They're killer shirts. So
That's super nice material.
It took a long time to get to Stephen, so he's having to wear it in January, mid-January, because of the delay. But
I ordered a Ric Flair Christmas sweater in November, and it still hasn't showed up. So, but anyway,
that's heartbreaking.
but you bought me the Hawaiian shirt, so I wore that instead. So
This is true. This is true.
last year I had a. Last year was the Epstein didn't kill himself Christmas sweater, which was a big hit. So,
I never saw that sweater.
I don't think I ever wore it on the pod. I wore it to the StocksToTrade Christmas party. I don't think I would, but yeah. So
That's classic. Oh my god.
But,
All right.
the one
so,
one thing I'd say about this shirt, just while we're on the subject, is: have you ever flown an aeroplane? Well, no one's flown an aeroplane. Have you ever been on an aeroplane and you're flying through the clouds and you're like, I wonder what it would feel like to lie in them? This shirt is the closest thing you'll get to feeling like you're lying in clouds on an aeroplane.
I'm so glad. It's a Ren Spooner shirt, which is a very popular Hawaiian brand. And
I was gonna make sure to give him a plug. Yeah.
Yeah, Ren Spooner is the brand came about because of Shane Dorian, one of our guests' dad. Basically, he used to wear his shirts inside out, the Hawaiian print. And this guy, Ren, saw him wearing the shirt inside out and was like, hey, that's kind of cool. And my understanding is, that Shane's dad, like, that's how the whole brand got started. So it's got this, like, kind of, you could see the material, it's kind of like faded a little bit. And that's their, like, kind of signature style. But everybody here, all the men wear Hawaiian shirts, like, all the time. So anyway.
Is there a reason why they do that? Is it like
the guy just thought it looked cool.
But why would people be wearing Hawaiian shirts? Is there a reason?
Oh, it's the Aloha spirit here. It's the Aloha spirit.
You're in Hawaii, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, right.
Right.
Wait, Nicole, please insert.
I'm sorry, I didn't get
for
that.
Steven's incredible joke there.
It's because I'm in Hawaii. It's because I'm in Hawaii. But they come out with a Christmas shirt every year, and I wanted you guys to have, it becomes, it's like kind of a trend, and I wanted to both give you a piece of Hawaii because you can't travel here. I've invited you both so many times, so I even set up a whole all the places Tim could stay, all the resorts, all the places we go. So when you guys can come, I won't send you shirts. I'll just take you out on the town of the Big Island.
So pumped for that.
We'll have fun. I think we should have the conference here. That's my opinion. We should do the Big Island. You got hunting for Tim.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Beautiful women for Stephen. I mean, what more could you guys want?
Just a girlfriend. That's it.
You would find one, Stephen.
I'll be there tomorrow. But can I just ask so this podcast will probably come out in 2 weeks. Where do you think ZOM will be As people can check it right now.
Yep. So as of so just some context. So as of so I'll set it up. A week ago it was 25 cents. It went as high as $1.50. Yesterday. Yesterday was the high, and currently it's 94 cents. So as of today is we're recording on the 13th of January. So do I go? You want me to go first, or you want Kim to guess?
You go first.
So Stephen, how many people in your circle of degenerate short sellers shorted this as well? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't been checking in. I didn't check in with anyone because I was just focused on making money back. I didn't check in with anyone, but as far as I know, there was some people that I told to short it who shorted it yesterday and lost. But only me. Only me.
So this is it's an Amex stock. And there's plenty of shares, so this is probably shortable all over the place.
What does that mean, an Amex stock?
Amex is like the gutter of the New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange owns Amex, but it's basically where. Rejects. And this is paraphrasing. You can fact check me, but it's basically where NYSE makes stocks go that it doesn't want on their exchange. So they could say like, this sketchy biotech penny stock isn't on the New York Stock Exchange, but we've got the Amex exchange. So that being said, there's plenty of shares out there. I think so 2 weeks, Stephen. So February 1st.
Yeah.
So I think February 1st, this will be at the big gap up was to 70 cents. I think it'll be at 75 cents still in 2 weeks. Because I think there's enough shares out there. I think there's enough people that are going to be trapped that refuse to give up. And they're going to mock Carol Baskin all they want. And keep in mind, it's down 30% today. And I'm saying 75 cents, which is another 20% lower. So you can make money shorting this thing. But my point is, the market we're in, I think it's still going to be at 75 cents, which is still, 300% higher than it was a month ago.
What do you think, Stephen?
I would just look at something like Ogen and you'll get the same answer. So like if Ogen was a 40 cent stock and it went up to $1, basically mid-range and refusing to die. So I'd say exactly half. So it's similar to Tim. So if it went from 40 to $1.50, it's going to be somewhere in the 70s, 75s. Yeah.
Look at BNGO. We're a month later on BNGO. It's still $5.
It was stock I lost like $2,000 on.
It was a 50-cent stock. Christmas. It was a 50-cent stock. Here we are, middle of January. It's still $5. 50 cents to $5.
I mean, I don't know if it's a dangerous game, but when this sector momentum ends, and it was quiet today, and it's a Wednesday, it shouldn't be that quiet for how it was today. When this sector momentum ends, it might be risky, but I can't see why you can't swing short all these biotechs. I don't get why you can't and just let them fall.
No,
they have to come down at some point.
Famous last words, brother.
just like the SPY needs to come down as well.
That's why I'm so glad I saw The Big Short, because I remember that's what Christian Bale, who could be my other cameo too, by the way. Christian Bale keeps walking out, remember, from his office, going to the whiteboard, erasing the number, and it goes lower and lower. And you're just like, how is this possible? So that movie burned into me.
Did you see the meme I posted about The Big Short the other day?
No.
Well, it was
Christian Bale in it?
No. It was just a meme, just a static meme. But it's like these guys walking down the street and they're like, watch his Big Short for the first time. And then they're like, the stock market's a scam. Everything's going to crash. Short everything. And I'm like, yep, that's everybody that watches The Big Short for the first time.
Totally.
To be fair,
so I added to my calendar, just so you guys know. To close this out, or this top part. So February 3rd, I added check on the price of ZOM. We should be recording that day. It's a Wednesday. So,
good.
So as a reminder,
we'll check. We'll check. So. All right, I'll put it in the notes too. That we check on you guys.
I'm also going to short every single biotech up too much with only 100 shares. Only 100. So on February the 3rd, we'll see if I made any money or blew up the account. Nah, I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's very dangerous. It breaks a lot of rules for me as well.
Well, ultimately, you know, again, if you forced me to short in January 2021, it would be shit biotechs. I mean, it's like now, if you tried to get me to short an EV or even a weed stock or, you know, no way, or a SPAC, you know, no way. But if you force me to, it'd be.
I bet you're watching the EVs, by the way. I can see Solos nearly on breakout, Blinks nearly on breakout.
Plug. I remember, you know, Plug, you know, as an old school short seller, like Plug was one of the most mocked stocks for a decade. It's at freaking $72 right now, you know.
What the
for
hell?
You know, for years we made fun of Plug. You know, they would always do a press release. It spiked to like $2. Hammer it short back in the golden days of short selling, you know, pre-2016. Plug was one of the best shorts, and it was always like it'd go like 1 to 3 slam back, 1 to 3 slam back. Here we are today, all-time highs, record highs. I think it touched $72 today. You know, it's just the EV stuff. And I've said this a million times. There has never been a hotter or longer lasting hot sector. We're going on a year. I mean, the EV stuff started going nuts right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah,
and then quieted down and came back in the summer. We're going on a year of EV, and look at the chart of Plug, PLUG, and you'll see what I'm talking about. For a year, it's done nothing but go up.
That's why I predicted that it would not continue, because I thought, how could it possibly last? And yet, look at it. It's a year later, and it is really fascinating.
You know,
it's fascinating.
Tesla's at 900. You know, Tesla will probably hit 1,000, which is split adjusted. That's $5,000 a share. And Steven was making fun of me last year when it was at 400, and I said it was going to 1,000.
But the real questions though is, when is Workhorse? Because I see it in the news every 2 months with some grand discovery. When is Workhorse going to produce something better than a golf cart with a battery in? And all the other crap companies like AYRO, Solo, Blink, when are they going to do anything? Riot, Mara. When am I going to get the grand news of how good this company is?
They won't. I don't think any of them.
It's a joke.
Yep.
It's a joke.
Yep.
When's the news coming? Because the diluting shareholders, the stock price is running, the diluting shareholders, they're raising money. What are you doing with the money? And when is the big product coming?
Right. Hookers and blow, man. Hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow.
But it's true, though. But it's true, and that's why it's disgusting.
It is.
Where is the money from this?
Remember what I always say about penny stocks. I mean, and listen, I got this from my boy Tim Sykes 15 years ago. That's when the skies opened up for me, because, you know, his point is, for, you know, 25 years, he's like, there's been like 1 or 2 successful penny stocks in his 25 years, you know, like Amazon and like True Religion Jeans. And True Religion Jeans like went out of business. You know, they were a pump and dump. You know, Amazon did a reverse split, which, you know, we always, you know, but I mean, you're talking like 0.00001%.
Yeah.
So none, Stephen, to answer your question, none. Yeah. You know, Tesla's gonna, I mean, Tesla's already done it. You know, GM, I mean, all GM, Ford, Chrysler, you know, Toyota. I mean, Toyota came out with that freaking battery that's like ridiculous. So you're not going to beat Toyota. You're not going to beat Tesla. You're not going to beat GM. All of them will fail. Yeah. But front side, backside, brother. You know?
They don't know. They don't know. The newbies don't know. And like you guys have said, that's why, you know, like in a way they're giving life to those who do know.
But I'm not kidding though. I mean, this is how ridiculous the market is. Like, I've got an okay following on YouTube. I could pick a random stock tomorrow, which is illiquid, in a liquid random low float stock. I could buy a bunch of shares in it. I could do a YouTube video saying, for X, Y, and Z,
TikTok,
this is going to be a good long. Just give it a couple of weeks, but buy now.
If you're going to pump, go on TikTok.
But I could though. I could do it. I could bash it on Twitter, bash it on YouTube. I guarantee I'd make 20 to 30% on me money. Guarantee. Jeez. Is it illegal or can I do it? But my reputation's gone if I do it though. That's the thing. But I could do it, right? Or is it illegal? It's not even illegal.
Again, if you're just talking about your position, I don't know, it's like, but
Andrew
again,
Left does it the other way.
I wouldn't want to be put in that position,
Yeah.
but,
No,
Yeah.
but if Andrew Left does it short, I can just do it long. But I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to do it. Don't worry about it. But secretly, like FLDP. It's a good long. It's a good long.
But I mean, again, it's just, and that's where, the ultimate point of this podcast is, what I want the listener to know is just again, recognize what it is, and that's why, I don't care if it's TikTok. I don't care if it's Wall Street Bets. I don't care if it's Discord. I don't care, what it is. Just give me high volume, low float stocks with a story.
The other book that's coming.
Have a stop. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Listen, if it turns on you, stop out. There's going to be another one. So.
Yep. The book that's coming to me right now that I haven't thought of in 1,000 years is a book called The Madness of Crowds.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Extraordinary Delusions and the Madness of Crowds. Yep.
Yeah.
One of the best ever of, the original was like 400 years ago or something. So must read.
Yeah.
So,
So.
and it actually, all of you should get it. It's not exactly the most fun read, but it's the biggest point is just like it was based on Tulip Mania. I mean, listen, Sir Isaac Newton went bankrupt buying, the East India Tea Company because it was like, it was like buying Bitcoin at 40,000. Here's the smartest guy possibly ever lived, fell for a pump and dump I mean, so the point is, this has been repeating.
So did GM.
So did GM.
Yep, GM. Yep. Which again, I mock General Motors all the time for their terrible management decision. And guess what? Guess who's? But here's the thing. Nikola. Last I knew was still at $20. Yeah, today $20.
Is it really?
Yep. So still, so. But I mean, and I know I've ranted on this. They're just going to get backstopped by GM. And remember, GM's backstopped by the full faith of the U.S. government. So it's like
the only thing I would say is that, like, our brains are like processors, and some people have got better processors than other. But if you give people too much information at once, like stocks is like, you've got to understand 10 indicators all at the same time, and you've got to process them in parallel all at the same time.
Yeah, it's too much.
And it's too hard, and that's why people make mistakes. That's why people don't realize the story properly. That's why people buy the wrong dailies. Because you've got to get used to each of the indicators over time, so your brain can start processing them all in linear and together.
And the drive-by mentality that our culture, because of this dopamine hit, people are looking for the one and done. They think they can come in here, I think, and just like, oh, I can just do this and then I'm out. It's like, it doesn't work that way. Even though that's how your phone works with giving you new information, that's how this works. And that repetition, it's like a long read. Trading, to be successful at it, is like a long read.
See,
it's not a quick article or tweet.
Thank you for saying that, because this was a point I wanted to make earlier. And it's a double-edged sword because, again, most of our listeners are newer traders. And they're probably like, oh, well, Kim, Steven, they're all telling me disconnect. That's the bitch of it. That's what sucks is at the beginning, I don't think you can. I think you need to be reading, all this madness, because you need to learn to recognize what it is. And, I feel somewhat blessed, when I got started in penny stock mania, it was 2007, and it was nothing like today, man. Nothing. I mean, I tell these, old man stories all the time. We'd lose our minds about some stock up 20% on 1 million shares. It was like, so, but there was one, and then maybe it'd be a couple days and then there'd be another one, it just wasn't like now. And
shorten them though. You shorten them.
Yep.
Every time you're like, there's one up and it'll never last.
VWAP fails in the afternoon. They all gap down the next day. It was beautiful. The only thing, and this is where, this is why, back to the Trade Zero podcast with Dan, the biggest issue back then was you'd miss 40% of them because you couldn't get a borrow. That was the or you know you were changing brokers constantly. That was the biggest thing. But I tell you, every runner spiked in the morning, faded, if it broke VWAP in the afternoon, everyone left. Everyone was gone. It'd close on the low of the day. It'd gap down. You'd cover into it. It was like incredible for PDT traders because, I mean, if it closed on the low of the day, it was always going to gap down because it would trade 2 million shares today and it would trade 150,000 day two, you know, just because everyone left. So, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is just you got to do your best to manage it. And but I think you have to kind of be in the war zone to recognize what is happening, because I don't know.
Well, just maybe know it's a war zone, right? I mean, know that this is craziness and the madness. Okay, you're in the middle of the madness, but know that it's madness, and don't think you can come in and be done overnight or have that expectation on yourself.
This, if you're in SteadyTrade team, I tell this story every time we get a batch of new members or something. I always tell this story. It's like, and remember, I was never in the military, but I'm a huge fanboy. I always give this example of like two guys with the exact same training. Okay. They both went through SEAL teams, let's say. Same program, same training, same instructors, same school. They all went through Buds and Coronado, same thing. And you got a guy that's done 4 tours, and you got the guy that's it's his first day on the battlefield. And there's bullets flying, explosions, and you got Jocko Willink over here. He's like, whatever, just another day at work. And you're the new guy, and you're like, what? And you're losing your mind. Yeah. But, it's experience, and just, show up every day and put in the time,
Yeah.
This is a different subject, but I'm just going to read some comments, and I want you to guess who it is.
Okay.
Right. Stock market is littered with stock markets are littered with 90% Walking Dead losers. Don't be one of them. Hang on. We'll go more. Walk down the hill. Amateurs open the market. Pros close it. Wait for the stock to prove itself. I'm vegan because I hate the thought of killing an animal. We live in the greatest time in history. Remember, these are junk stocks. Don't bag hold. G's or Pete's. Dip and rip. Too many stocks. Winners hold winners, losers hold losers. I hate it when the commies bring down a strong stock. You know what I'm going to draw, but I'm going to do it anyway. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is now.
So oddly enough, I've been approached by Jessie. Helps me with a lot of editing on writing projects, and she'll probably listen. She's actually been trying to get me to do like a daily devotional. So anyway, Kim, those are all my quotes. Now, I stole a lot of them, but
can I just give you one more because it relates to me?
They're awesome.
I don't know why people want to short low float stocks in a hot sector. You can't turn chicken shit into chicken salad. These are Tim's quotes. It was from a StocksToTrade tweet. I thought it was great. I read them all, and I could hear them all.
I think it'd be great. I think the daily devotional is a great idea. My favorite one, and the one when I think I knew it was you, was the I'm vegan because I love animals. That's what I was like. That's awesome. That was really brilliant, Stephen. Well done.
Twitter is a dumpster fire.
Truth.
Well, I think we'll kind of take this one home here. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed these episodes. Speaking of quotes, make hay while the sun shines. I mean, I tell you, and I know we've kind of talked about this theme a lot, but it's just, I mean, I keep talking about that hockey stick. It's like, and I know I 2016, I talk, but it's just like we get to last fall, and it's just we're on that upper swing of that hockey stick. So, if you're looking to trade, man, start small, paper trade. But It's wild. It's wild. And I just don't think there's, other than, and that was kind of the core of today's podcast, maybe, other than the fact that there's maybe too much information out there, there's just never been a better time to trade on your phone. Yeah. And again, have proper risk management, have a stop, but tomorrow we'll have another ZOM. The next day there'll be another ZOM. You know, it's just, it's so.
God bless America.
I agree.
And the stock market.
Fair enough.
And God bless all our viewers, that they stay safe out there. Stay safe out there.
All right, everyone. As always, if you're listening on your podcast or if you're on YouTube, wherever you are, definitely check out SteadyTrade.com. You know, we talked about the Popular Delusions and Madness of Crowds. Great book. We always try and link up the books. We should link to the Carol Baskin article. Wild stuff out there, but we always try and link everything up at SteadyTrade.com. Share these with your friends. Tell your friends. We're always trying to help as many people as possible. We love doing this. We have a lot of fun, but it's even more fun if we're helping others. I mean, that's ultimately the biggest reason we're here. So I hope you all have a great day, a great week, and we will see you next time on the Steady Trade Podcast.